Hello and welcome to CNN Business Traveller. I'm Richard Quest. This month reporting from, amongst other places, Mount Washington, New Hampshire. The hotels where we stay are often so much more than just bricks and mortar or a place to rest your weary head. They often tell us something about the places we visit and, as you'll learn, they tell us about a moment in time. So to our first hotel. Just look at this magnificent edifice behind me. The Mount Washington Hotel in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Bretton Woods, those very words give you an inkling about why this hotel is so famous. That rare place where history and hotel defined each other. The Mount Washington is a grand old hotel, a true witness to history, nestled in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. It was during the summer of 1944 when history came calling. The Allies were feeling confident they would win the Second World War, and the men who controlled the world's money came here to usher in a new era of international finance. Delegates from 44 countries travelled to the White Mountains, many by train, to this remote resort. It was a conference that had been in the works for almost 2.5 years. There are many hotels that could have hosted this conference. The US government picked this one for particular reasons. Stephen Hilliard is the managing director of the Mount Washington Resort.
This hotel was chosen for a couple of reasons. One is it had great train access, and so transportation wasn't going to be an issue. There were 50 trains a day that had come in and out of here pre-World War II. So it was easy to get people in and out of. It was remote, and so therefore easy to secure, and that was an important piece. And interestingly enough, one of the things is it was open to people of all faiths, and that was not true in those days.
Getting the hotel ready for the conference was neither easy nor cheap. The hotel had been closed during the war. It was in a horrible state.
Paint was peeling off, ceilings were dropping, and everything was really a mess. They spent over $1 million they painted the entire place.
This was a US government bailout of hotels of sorts, and in the nick of time. This hotel wouldn't have reopened.
That's correct. Yeah, everyone that we talked to has said that this hotel would never, ever have reopened had it not been for the conference.
For 3 weeks, the delegates met often late into the night. This was no social event. Great economic minds like Lord John Maynard Keynes from the United Kingdom, or Comrade M.S. Stepanov, who headed the Soviet delegation, and of course, US Treasury Secretary Henry Morgenthau. The countries which had the most clout on the world stage 70 years ago were very different from today. The US and the UK were seated next to each other on the top table, surrounded by Bolivia, Iceland and Iraq. Further down the table were China and previously Nazi-controlled France.
The important delegates stayed here. The less important delegates were the Secret Service, and the FBI took over the neighboring hotels also, because there were 770 people here, and this only could hold about 250.
What was agreed at Bretton Woods would last for decades, not least setting the gold standard, where the US dollar was tied to the price of gold at $35 an ounce, and the United States currency became the world's #1.
It makes your hand stand on end to think that this room was the place where a lot of our future was, in the financial world, was decided on.
Now the hotel's opened year-round and is filled with families, hikers and those looking for a weekend getaway, sitting on the veranda, taking in the view. The Mount Washington Hotel played its part in history, and this rich legacy is not over yet.